Today at Commander Replay, we check out some competitive Team Skyshark. Get ready for some absolutely horrendous uses of removal. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, be sure to check out my GoFundMe if you want to submit decks for me to play or do one-on-one deck reviews. Check the link in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Team Skyshark CEDH today. Kept an opening hand that looks like this. It's got a lot of lands, but it's got this preordained so we can scry into some stuff, we can fetch and do some things and kind of filter our way up to some better draws. But we've got this Swan Song to hold us over as a bit of protection against some things, so I think this is going to work. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Champion of Thune. He's been working on this deck list for a little bit and playtesting it, so I thought I would give it a run just since he's been working on it. CEDH decks do tend to take a lot of playtesting, so being that I haven't had the chance to do that yet, thought I would run his list out here today. And there's a Mox Diamond. Sweet. So that'll get us some ramp going. Should get us into things so much faster. Now, ironically, we have two Team Skyshark decks at the table, and then we've got two Izzet decks at the table. This is going to be a counter spell battle. Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. We'll see what happens. Okay, so what land do we need? We need to make 3 colors of land. I think we get rid of the snow-covered, except the snow-covered is good against Blood Moons and back to basics, but I think I'll just risk it. So let's play the Windswept Heath. Crack the Windswept Heath. We'll start with the Tundra. Play this Mox Diamond. We need to discard a land. I guess we're going for maybe City of Brass. City of Brass is pretty annoying to manage, actually. The island gives us something against Blood Moon and back to basics, which do happen occasionally. I think we do fire off the Preordain right here. Try to set up these next couple turns if we can. Ooh, opponent wants to mental misstep our Preordain. How do I feel about that? Oh. So, one of the things is that almost all of the CEDH I've ever played has been from the perspective of an aggro deck. I don't think I've ever actually really played control in CEDH. So, my counterspell usage here. Ooh. You know what? There's no consultation decks at the table, so I think I'm going to counter this, because if there were consultation, I might hold the Swan Song up and, try not to lose on turn 2 to a consultation. But I feel like I need this Preordain right now. We've got 3 lands in hand. I feel like we're going to need a bit more than 3 lands. There's an Arcane Signet and a Wear Tear. We know that there will be many artifacts given the colors at the table. Arcane Signet is ramp. I'm going to put Wear Tear to the bottom. Put the Signet on top. I do like the more ramp. We'll draw the Signet, and we'll pass the turn like that. Opponent said, why can't all Commander games where the person goes last start with a bird token? I mean, that's not a terrible idea. Like, I think there are a lot of things that would be too strong. Like, an extra land in play. Well, would an extra land in play be too strong? I don't know. In this setting, probably. But, I don't know. Is starting with the 2/2 bird? I don't know, maybe the 2/2, you know what, the 2/2 bird's probably not even good enough unless someone's got planeswalkers at the table that you need to get off of the table. So, Skyshark opponent goes for a Mana Crypt and a land on turn 1. It's a pretty good way to get yourself started. But we should introduce our commanders. So we're playing Brawlin Skyshark Raider, 4 mana for a 3/3, partners with Shabraz the Skyshark. Whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Brawlin, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And you can pay red to give a shark trample until end of turn. So that's going to be the main focus of this deck. Ooh, opponent getting a Shattering Spree, the Mana Crypt right there. Nice. But anyway, opponent's going to Swan Song that Shattering Spree. 2 birds! Alright, this game's getting silly already. Alright, so this may not be the most cutthroat game of CEDH anyone's ever seen. Still got a bunch of high-power decks at the table, but but I think everyone just having a little bit of fun at this point. It is getting a little later in the day, so I get it. Anyway, trying to get back to what I was talking about. So that Brawlin ability is kind of one of the main focuses of the deck. If you put Curiosity on it, and once you discard, I believe with 8 cards in hand, you start this loop with Curiosity, and then you kill everyone at the table. And that is an ideal situation. Champ, who's been testing the deck, also did say that sometimes he just gets so large you get there with combat damage as well, so that's also cool. We'll talk about Shabraz in a moment. That does bring it back to our turn. There's a land. Play this Marsh Flats. Crack this Marsh Flats. Pray for no stifles. 4 blue decks at the table. Let's get a plateau. Let's try this Arcane Signet. And we've ramped. I'll tell you what, we probably didn't need to draw that land right there. That's probably not a thing that we needed to do. But next turn we can go for our commanders, and that seems like it'll be a pretty good idea. Our second commander is Shabraz the Skyshark and partners with Bralin. It is a 3/3 with flying, and it says whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you gain 1 life, and target human gains flying until end of turn. So I'm pretty excited about these two. This seems like a cool little team right here. Even if you're not doing the CDH thing, it just seems like a fun little duo. Lots of flavor in there. Does it fit the Magic universe? I'm not exactly sure. Jerry might be out on that one. But they do look cool, fun, and flavorful, so that is a thing. So Shabraz is in here more as a backup, but it too can also get big, especially with wheels, and gaining life can be relevant. That can keep you from dying against decks like Blood Pod before they go infinite. There are situations in CDH where your life total just gets whittled down. If there's any deck with like any sort of combat prowess at all, they can just take you out sometimes. So having some ability to keep your life total high is very helpful just to make sure you don't die to like cracking your own fetches and no black in this deck, but like, you know, black cards tend to burn their own life total a lot. So really helpful against that sort of stuff. Like even if we had to use this mana crypt, this mana confluence every turn, mana crypt flips, things like that. Bralin coming into play for our opponent. But yeah, being able to gain some life back is really helpful. And against a lot of the aggro decks that I play, it would slow me down. It would not be the most ideal for someone to be gaining life continuously against many of the decks that I've played in the past. Now I've been playing Winota a lot recently, and most of the time that deck does not win by going infinite, so gaining life against that deck actually pretty relevant. Even Nagila will kill a number of players before the deck actually goes infinite. If people are holding up counters on the cards that go infinite, sometimes you just got to get there with the tokens and by activating the ability and swinging away through combat. So life gain is a thing. It doesn't protect you against everything, especially in this setting, but it is helpful against certain things. Opponent's going to Vandal Blast on this Mana Crypt. Yup. Down for that. So our opponent, Gamlik 2, also piloting Team Skyshark. I assume that they'll be playing a very similar deck to ours. I can't imagine there's too much diversity amongst these Skyshark decks yet. But we'll see if they've got anything different than what we've got going in our deck, so it should be interesting. Get a double look at the deck, so even if we don't have success today, better chance of seeing a Skyshark deck have some success, so always a good thing. Next up, we've got Banana piloting Niv Mizzet Perron. This is the deck that I know pretty well. My friend Dave, this was his main commander deck, so it's a very strong deck. Again, also on the Curiosity combo, very similar game plan to what we're doing. Oh, no. Opponent's going to abrade our Arcane Signet. Gross. Just removal encounters this game. You know what? They probably should have saved that, honestly, because, like, they can shoot the commanders with that. I don't know that blowing up a mana rock is the best situation right there. Opponent going on the attack with the birds. We're going to take two into Zachary Ryan. So anyway, yes, I've seen a lot of Niv Mizzet. Niv Mizzet is very, very strong. And it's basically just counter anything that matters until you slam Niv Mizzet with the Curiosity. And then finally, we've got Zachary Ryan piloting his Okaun and Zndrsplt deck. I've seen this deck a few times as well. Tons of counterspells in this deck. It's basically counterspells, fast mana, and his 2 commanders. So it's going to be a very heavy control deck. And no, it is not a tier 1 CEDH deck, but there are enough counters in this deck, and these 2 are so strong by themselves that the deck can compete. So if you let it go for just a second, it will take over. It draws cards like no other, and Okaun is able to kill people by himself, so it is shockingly strong. Opponent lays down a Worn Power Stone. Yep. You know, that's a mana rock that I'm starting to run just a little bit less. I've loved this thing for years and years, but I'm starting to see that like Hedron Archive just has more upside for me. That whole come into play tap thing is really starting to feel a lot more painful than it ever used to. And I like that Hedron Archive comes in untapped and you can kind of just do it all at once. Seems less disruptive, but that doesn't mean I've stopped running it. I'm just running it a little bit less than I used to be. Anyway, we've drawn to another land. Yeah, that's exactly not what we wanted, so crack the land. No one has 2 mana up, so if they're going to counter us, it's got to be a free counter or a 1 mana one, right? Get this Volcanic Island. Try Bralin. Someone drops a wheel. That'll help. And I'm sure there are some wheels in this game. So we get the partner trigger. I'm going to shuffle. We keep drawing lands. There's like 30 lands in this deck, and all we've seen is lands so far. And that's on top of like cracking some fetches. We scryed one time. They're like, reasonably, there can't be that many lands left in the deck. I would take a windfall, if anyone's asking. Well, there's a curiosity on the brawling. Opponent says, so double brawling represents a bit of a stalemate, yes? Mutually assured destruction? Yes and no. With the curiosity out there, they're in a clearly better position than we are at the moment. Opponent hits one time, gets to draw with the curiosity, up to 4 cards in hand. Opponent plays a Tainted Pronghorn. It is a 1/1 with the ability to discard a card, prevent all damage that would be dealt to trained Pronghorn this turn. Basically a free discard outlet. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to get a look at this right here, I think. So, opponent discards a card, and then that triggers Curiosity 3 times. Opponent's up to 5 cards. Oh, yeah, okay. I think they just win. Opponent says they have an Eldrazi. Opponent's doing the math to see if he'll mill out first, so... Yep, that's what happens when everyone uses their removal incorrectly. The game ends on turn 3. Myself included. We could have held up the swan song right there. We'll see you guys in Game 2. All right, we are back with some more Team Skyshark Game 2. This hand has a lot more action than our last hand. Divining Top's always good. No mana rocks. Klasm, I don't know that Klasm's going to be the most helpful, but... Ooh, opponent brought Selvala. Maybe if there's mana dorks, okay. There's a green deck. Klasm might kill something. Alright, so we won the die roll. We get to go first. More Team Skyshark. Let's get the... We got double blue on the ideas. So I guess that means Hollowed Fountain first. Untapped. Get the Divining Top. Set a stop on our upkeep, and we'll pass turn like that. So we all talked about the last game in chat before we started this one, and the reason that the Mana Crypt got protected is because Mana Crypt is really good for Okaun and Zndrsplt, so I get it. Zach did say he was getting a little bit cute with it, and we all paid the price for that. There's a Soul Ring for opponent. Those are good. I burned the... What's the bird one? The counter that makes the bird. That thing. I burned that thing too early, trying to protect the Scry. Just so we could look at some cards that matter. And opponent picked up on that, thinking that if I'm doing that, then I probably don't have much in hand. So that was kind of why they went after that with the Mental Misstep. And yeah, that worked out pretty good for them. Worked out pretty good for them. Ooh, here comes an Amulet of Vigor for the Selvala. Seems pretty good. So we were all talking about the fact that, like, basically we all used our removal terribly. But none of us had really seen the Skyshark deck before. So, you know, you live, you learn. Now we've got some idea of what the deck can do, and we'll try to play a little bit smarter. All right, so that brings it to our upkeep. Let's take a look with the Divining Top. See if we can't set up our next few turns here. We've got, Mox Diamond, Soul Ring, Wear Tear. All those sound great. I don't really want to crack our fetch. I kind of want all of these cards. No counter spells in there. Oh, you want to know what we should have did? We should have went for the Mox. We could still do it, actually. You want to know why? Because I don't think we're going to need the Pyroclasm or the Rolling Earthquake very much. You know what? I'm going to put the top back on top of our deck. And if we shuffle it away, we should... let's see. Yeah, do we want Ideas Unbound right here? No, it'll be okay. Oh, you know what we can do? We can... I'm going to give up on the top, although I kind of want the Wear Tear because that protects us against Curiosity. Well, we're going to live without it. We're just going to have to live without it. Okay. Play the Scalding Tarn, crack the Scalding Tarn, get Volcanic Island, play the Mox Diamond, discard the Sacred Foundry, cast Ideas Unbound. Okay, that gets us into some better action for this matchup, I think. I'm just not envisioning Rolling Earthquake or Pyroclasm doing that much. We do need to discard 3 cards. Let's get rid of Klasm, Rolling Earthquake. Do we want to get rid of the Savine's Reclamation? We have fetches in the graveyard. I think we can part with it. Having Flashback on there seems fine. Well, it's going to drop in a Myriad Landscape, but it'll get untapped from the Amulet of Vigor. Seems sweet. Nothing. No action from Okaun Zndrsplt on their last turn. O and Z being piloted by Zachary Ryan, by the way. Makes me wonder, I don't know if they're holding something up or if they just didn't have anything to do. So taking a look at our opponents once again, as I mentioned, Zachary Ryan piloting Okaun and Zndrsplt. Banana piloting Selvala Explorer Return this time. A card that was broken on Magic Online for a little while, and I believe is working again. Hopefully the game doesn't crash. And then finally, Kiamlik 2 also piloting Team Skyshark, and they were able to walk away with the victory in the last one. Apparently the discard outlets are really good. I wasn't so sure at first, having not actually seen it in action, but now having seen just how easy it is to win a game. Essentially, 2 cards plus your commander. Discard outlet, Curiosity, and your commander. And you're good to go. Talisman for opponent. Brings it back to our turn. Top is gone, so we can go straight to our main phase. We draw a Plateau. Lands are okay right here, actually. Play the Plateau. Let's get Soul Ring. Let's get our commander. And we've got a Flusterstorm to protect it. But with like 1 mana removal could be an issue. We get a partner trigger. I think we'll leave it alone this time. Pass the turn like that. Opponent's going to play a long-term plans. Search your library for a card, shuffle your library, put that card 3rd from the top. We could counter it. I think it's okay. There's any number of things that could happen that could mess that up. Someone wheels. Wheels, fetches, random stuff. I think we basically just need to keep our commander in play. That is going to be the main game plan right here. The question I have next turn is, it'll somewhat depend on what we draw, but do we go for Shabraz? If we do, we'll still only be able to leave up 1 mana. I'd prefer to be able to leave a little bit more up. Opponent going to go for Zndrsplt right here. We actually don't have anything for Zndrsplt. We could Chain of Vapor it. Save it until we really need it. But sometimes they draw a million cards, just depending on how the coin flips go. And once that starts happening, they'll probably be able to win any counterspell battle, just because they're going to have so many more cards than us. You know, I have to wonder, too, do you just jam these into this deck because they're so good on their own? One finds the other, and they're very strong. They're just very, very strong, so I don't know. Maybe if you're not building around them, it's not quite good enough, especially because you do need to get some evasion on Okaun for it to be really good, but it is a question that I have. It's something worth checking out, especially if a game slows down. Once that happens, then these two can really take over. Opponent's going to crack their Myriad Landscape. Now, this is cool because those lands are going to come in untapped off of the Amulet. If ever you had concerns about Myriad Landscape being a little bit too slow and awkward, Amulet of Vigor will fix those. I wouldn't mind taking a card draw off Selvala either in this moment. Opponent's going to play a Nature's Lower, so just getting their ramp on. Does that matter? I don't think we care about that. Yep, here comes opponent's Trained Pronghorn. A card that I looked up is not in this list. Probably should be. You know what the Pyroclasm eats? It eats that. Unless it can prevent all the damage to itself, but we can't force him to discard a card to do it. But alas, it's not to be, as the Pyroclasm's in our graveyard. I don't know that we have a way to get it back. There's a Mountain. Okay, Mountain definitely puts me on Skyshark. And now we just wait for someone to wheel. We get a partner trigger right there. Let's go to combat. We've got an open path to Selvala. They've got 1 open, though. I guess we've got the negate. Yeah, opponent's going to try to swords on our Shabraz. Flusterstorm stops it. Yeah, we'll Flusterstorm that swords. And we can still leave up Chain of Vapor if we need to bounce something. Opponent takes 3, goes down to 37. Here comes Okaun. Yup. I'm expecting to see some card draw right here. When it goes to combat, they get a flip trigger for each. They appear to have won no flips this game. That is unusual. Usually by this point, they've drawn a couple. Some point, their luck will change and they'll draw like 8. Oh no, that's a Hall of the Gemstone. Well, we can't negate it. Lands tap for mana produce... Okay, so we've got the Mox Diamond. That still gets us blue. We can at least Chain of Vapor it if we have to. Oh, Tomac, hey. Lands on the battlefields and lands in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. That means we cannot use Savines to get a land back. Your opponents can't play land cards from graveyards. All right, bring it on the land lockdown over there. Don't know how that's gonna play out for us. It'll slow everyone else down also. Hall of Gemstone for opponent. Did not see the chosen color. Sure, we'll find out shortly. Crack some Marsh Flats. Looks like red was the chosen color. Okay, no, they can't go for Curiosity. They cannot produce blue mana. So our Mox Diamond is very valuable in case we need to negate or Chain of Vapor something. Brings it back to our turn. Hall of Gemstone trigger. That's going to be a blue for us. That's a Mystical Tutor. We get a counter on Shabraz the Skyshark. Excellent. We can make our human flying. That's kind of cool. Shabraz becomes a 4/4. You know, with Okaun running around, I'm not entirely convinced it makes sense to go anywhere. Yeah. As much as I love attacking, this isn't so much of an attacking deck. Do we Mystical Tutor right now? While our lands can still produce blue. Our opponents can see the Mystical Tutor. Opponents are tapped out pretty good. I think we try the Mystical Tutor. Ideally, I'd like to draw some cards. Probably Wheel of Fortune. We have Time Twister. Time Twister is a real card. We have Time Twister. Yeah, let's go for Time Twister. Hall of Gemstone for opponent. Let's see what they go for. That's a very blue-heavy deck, so I'd imagine they're on blue. Chooses red. Opponent doing the flip thing. I think they won a single flip? No, lost both flips. Wow. They've lost like 6 in a row. That's a Rogue's Passage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Rogue's Passage is very serious in that deck. Whisper Silk Cloak is also very serious. Ooh, do we negate that? Ooh. Oh, that takes away our ability to interact. Chain of Vapor, do we negate? If we don't, this Brawlin could just win. Oh, God, I'm going to let it go. Gonna let it go. If they Chain of Vapor and bounce our Brawlin, it's a real bad time. And they've equipped it. Ooh. Can't be blocked and has Shroud. Oh, dear God. What have we done? What have we done? Opponent's going to Aven Mind Sensor. It's okay, we've already done our searching. Chooses green with the Hall of the Gemstone. Man, I've been hoping we were going to get some draws off this Selvala, and that hasn't happened. You know what might be good for this deck? I'm thinking Howling Mine. Crop rotation for our opponent. Based on the way that Champ's got this deck built right now, it looks like he's really just going in on the wheel. I didn't see any of these discard outlets. But Howling Mine will help you keep your hand full so you can stay near the, 7 or 8 that you want to be at to get Brawlin going. Opponent cracks fetch. Hall of Gemstone on the Brawlin opponent. Here comes the Curiosity. Actually, what color did they choose? I think they chose blue. They chose blue. Okay. So yeah, let's start with this negate. Negate the Curiosity. Opponent's got a Swan Song for that. I'm going to let this resolve, and then I'm going to wait for them to discard. Oh, no, that's bad because they can keep discarding. Uh-oh. Think I made a boo-boo. Thinks I made a boo-boo. I thought I could time it where, make them discard the maximum number of cards before they draw. But then I realized they can just draw more. Yep. Crap. Yeah, we should have did that. Well, timing matters. Blah. Seemed pretty lucky of them to have the combo in hand both times, though. How do we do that? Oof. Drawing a lot of nothing. So right there we saw the power of discard outlets with this deck with Curiosity, but you do need to have the discard outlet and the Curiosity. Those were things that we didn't seem to have any of this particular game. So I'd probably make some changes to this deck, maybe suited a little bit more to my playstyle. I personally would probably have at least a single Niv Mizzet in here. I'm not sure which one is best. Probably not the triple blue, triple red one, just because it's super hard to cast. But, oh man, that thing's so strong though. Maybe. Yeah, I personally probably add a Niv Mizzet just as kind of like a backup in case things go long. I just like it. I think it's really powerful. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't use our removal good in either game, so that's definitely an issue. But we didn't really see our combo pieces either. I mean, we might have. Maybe we had a chance if that wheel resolved right there. More so than, if it doesn't. But so yeah, maybe some tweaks needed to the deck in combination with some terrible usage of our removal in both games, leading to us not winning either game, and that will happen. So anyway, at least we got to see our opponent's version of the deck, so it wasn't a complete bust. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Also, there's still a few more dates left if you want to sign up for paper webcam games of Commander with me. And finally, be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link if you're buying Ikoria and Commander 20 cards.